Hello, my wonderful artists. So I'm really excited to be here with you again today to create a wonderful new fun art project. So today's art project, we are going to be focusing on the idea of mindfulness. So what is mindfulness? Maybe some of you have heard it before and others might not have. So mindfulness basically means that you're paying full attention to something. You're slowing down and you're really trying to notice what you're doing, and you're trying to be nice and calm. And so it's the opposite of rushing through your activity or what it is you're doing. So we want to slow down, take some deep breaths, and do this little mindfulness art activity. So what are we actually making today? We are going to be trying to make some little stained glass doodles. So with all the different colors and how the lines work, we're going to make these really cool little stained glass doodles. So we need a couple things. So as far as materials go, you will need, let's see, where is my pencil? We will need a pencil of some sort. So I have a little pencil here. We will need something to color with, so maybe some markers or color pencils or maybe some crayons. So any of that. And we'll of course need something to draw on, so some sort of paper, or maybe you have lined paper or colored paper. So it's up to you what you want to choose. And if you really don't have any paper, a whiteboard will do. It's still a great way to do this mindfulness art activity. So let's get started, shall we? So, besides those general materials, we want to get a circular shape to trace around. So I have this candle lid, so that's what I'm going to be using. If you want, you could use a bowl or a plate if you wanted to make yours even bigger. If you choose really small objects like the base of a bottle or something, you'll want to do many of them. So I am using this candle lid, so I'm going to start by tracing around it. And when you're tracing around something this small, you want to make sure you're holding onto it firmly. And when we're tracing, we want to make sure our pencil is touching the edge of it, so that way it makes a nice, clean circle and it doesn't get wavy. If you hold your pencil like this straight up and down, you're going to have a bit of a bump occasionally. So we want to make sure the pencil is at an angle, and we're going to start tracing. So go slowly, take some deep breaths. Remember, we're not trying to rush this activity. So there's my circle. The next thing we need to do is make a little border, because we want to frame our nice little stained glass doodle. So we're going to start close next to the edge and try to make another circle by hand. Try your best. And it's okay if it's a little wobbly. Another thing you could try to do is find another circular object that's slightly smaller and trace around that too. But I think it's fun when we kind of try to do it by hand, because it's not quite perfect. And art is never perfect. So here are my two little circles. So now we gotta start doing the fun part, the doodling part. And we're not just gonna quickly doodle and scribble all over the place. We want to be mindful. So we're going slow. We're really thinking about where our pencil's going and how our hand is moving. So start where you'd like, in the middle, on the side, it's up to you. So I think I'm gonna start in the middle with mine. And I don't want to go too fast. Remember, we're trying to be mindful. One long doodle there, now I'm going to make another one. We don't want to add too many little doodles, otherwise it'll be really hard to color this in later. So I'm pretty happy with that so far. So the next step is we want to darken our lines, because we want to be able to see it really clearly. So use like a black marker or a crayon or a color pencil. We want to make it nice and dark. So we're going to start tracing carefully around this. Now a really good tip when you're tracing, especially you can't do a long line, is do one line first, and then when you go to do the second line, you want to start a little bit inside that line that you started. and then continue from there. That way it makes it nice and smooth versus trying to start right at the end. We want to start kind of inside our line again and continue. And it'll make a nice smooth line. And remember, we want to go slowly, otherwise we might accidentally go over our pencil lines or make a new line which we didn't mean to have there in the first place. So I'm going to speed up the video a little bit that way you see me already. So here is my outline doodle, and you notice I was turning my paper as I was tracing, and it makes it a little easier to trace. So if you have any extra pencil lines that you might have accidentally not gone over, you can use an eraser and erase them. And before we start coloring, we want to dust off our paper to make sure there are no little bits on there. So now we can start coloring in our artwork. So think about some bright colors to use, and we don't want to use too many, so maybe select between 3 to 6 different colors, and you can start carefully coloring in. When we're coloring, remember, pick one direction to move your marker and go back and forth, and try to go slowly because we don't want to color in over the black lines that we drew. So pick one direction, go back and forth to make a nice, even coloring. And if you want a challenge, you want to try to make sure that the colors don't touch one another. So what that means is that I wouldn't put the same purple right next to it. I would find a different spot or put a different color right there. So I'm using markers for mine. If you want to use color pencils or crayons, that is perfectly great too. Remember, the material is choice, meaning you get to pick colors or the materials you want to use. And here is our finished little stained glass circle. So, if you would like, you could try creating some more to fill up the entire page too. Or this is also a fun little project to cut out and maybe hang somewhere. It's very nice and bright and colorful. Alright, my friends, I hope you enjoyed creating your own little stained glass doodle. Make more if you would like. And as you're coloring in, be careful to make sure that there aren't any little white spots showing through your paper. So if there are, you might want to go in and color it a little more. Alright, my wonderful artists, I will see you all later. I can't wait to see what your little stained glass art pieces look like. So, have a good one. I will see everybody later. Bye!